Hello and welcome to Broadsword Wargaming. My name is Oliver, I'm joined by Ciara, and today we are going to be talking all things Warhammer the Old World. It's back, but is it a game for you? For you.
We practiced this.
We have practiced this. You.
For you. Is
you.
it a game for you? Because I don't think it's going to be a game for me, but that's what we're here to find out.
Yeah, I already know I'm going to love it, right? Old models, stuff from the 90s, stuff I used to play as a kid. I can now get it again. What more is there for me to love?
My first impressions just from social media are square bases.
That is true.
Old models.
That is true.
More models than normal.
That is true. And batch painting.
Yeah, batch painting and flanking. Is that a thing?
Flanking is a thing.
And if there's 4 things I hate, it's square models, lots of models, batch painting and flanking.
Okay, well.
And old models.
Well, we're going to find out 5 things. We're going to take a look at the set, put some Tomb Kings together. I've got some dwarves as well, and I think at the end we're going to play a little game between ourselves so you can have a go at the rules and we'll let you know what we think of it. I was lucky enough to get my hands on the new Tomb Kings starter set, and boy does it bring back memories. I first played Fantasy back in the 90s when 4th edition came out, and honestly I have missed it. It was a game I loved, so I'm really excited to see it return. This one is an almighty old box, containing a horde of 93 Tomb Kings miniatures. It has a brand new Necrolith Bone Dragon. The rest is made up of enough classic kits to create 72 skeletons on foot, 16 skeleton horsemen and 3 skeleton chariots. It also gives you the core essentials such as dice, the rulebook and some gaming utensils. Now, I haven't had to put together older models in quite a while, and I did forget what this was like. In some ways it's fun seeing the units come together, but I was not prepared to clip out and remove hundreds of bits. The mold lines are pretty ropey too, so if you're a perfectionist like me, this does take quite some time. It's the kind of thing you can do while you've got something else on in the background, put on Star Trek or Stargate, something, and eventually the models start to come together and you'll get a real sense of progress. I undercoated them with Xandri dust and then hit them with a Wraithbone spray from a 45-degree angle. It's a really fast way to get a bone colour that looks good. After this you can use a wash or whatever your painting preference is. For a few evenings work and 10 minutes of spraying, I'm really happy with the results. 20 warriors, 8 horsemen and 12 archers. A great start to a new old Tomb Kings army. Next up, it's dwarves. Now, I used to have a whole host of Warhammer Fantasy miniatures, but unfortunately, in 2012, all of them got stolen out of my car. The only survivors were the stalwart little Battles for Skull Pass dwarves, a pretty old set that never got painted. Now, I think maybe their time has come. These are the last defenders of my old collection, and having given them a clean, stripped some of them and then sprayed them with black, with a grey zenithal and then an even lighter grey zenithal, you start to see some of the details and the beauty of these miniatures. Let's take a quick second to talk about this video's sponsor. Have you ever wanted to transform your space into a gallery of your own, filled with pieces that truly speak to you? Well, say hello to our amazing sponsor, Displate. Crafted with precision and built to last, Displate is more than just a poster. It's a metal masterpiece designed to capture your unique style and interests. Whether you're into landscapes, iconic movie scenes, computer games, or captivating abstract art, with over 1.3 million designs, Displate definitely has something for everyone. And the best part? With Displate's easy magnet mounting system, you can rearrange and customize your display in seconds without any tools or damage to your walls. Just wash the wall, attach the magnet, and boom, done. Say goodbye to the hassle of traditional framing. I got these sweet Warhammer 40k posters, the Skyrim box art image, and a picture of Gandalf about to beat the living hell out of a Balrog. Honestly, I genuinely love them and I'll definitely be getting more for the studio. As a special treat, we've got an exclusive discount just for you. Use the code BROADSWORD at checkout or simply click the link in the description. So why settle for ordinary posters when you can elevate your space with Displate? With that, let's get back to the video. I think it's about time we take a look at the miniatures and see what Ciara thinks to her first view of the old world models. Everything is assembled, undercoated or spray painted, right? I did all the assemblies. This is kind of the first time you've seen them. I know you saw me
Assembling.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't like them.
And that's the end of the video. It's not for you. Why don't you like them? Let's give us some details.
They look old and they look cheap. Like, they look really cheap. Like, they look like Kinder Egg toys.
Without the chocolate, like a sad Kinder Egg.
Yes.
Ironically, they're not...
Does that not look like something you get in the Kinder Egg? Like even with the square base and all.
It kind of does, yeah.
It weighs about a gram.
The sad thing about them is
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't weigh anything. There's no,
there's no heft. There's no.
I know who likes these.
Me.
People who want to just get it painted really quick and just play, and they don't care what the models look like. Is that true?
I don't know, actually. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Is that how you feel out there, people? There's a lot of.
I'm thinking of Imperial.
Little models who don't care.
Yeah.
Meow.
Yeah. Why are they all on separate bases if they all are one?
They die individually.
Oh.
So you have to take them off, right? So you have a big movement tray full of them, and then you take them off as they die or come back to life. I will say we have got dwarves and tomb kings, which I think might not be, knowing you relatively, I don't want to speak for you, but knowing you relatively well, might not be factions that interest you that much.
Yeah, I think if they brought out the elves or something, that would be quite cool, unless they look like these, but with pointy hats. Which I have a feeling they might.
So maybe not high elves then. I think we're down to wood elves. We're talking sort of naked war dancer men and trees. Because yeah, high elves all have big pointy hats.
I bloody knew they
You guessed that right. Yeah. So what I'm learning is the video could be over here, but what we'll do is we'll play a game.
Yeah,
right?
maybe it'll redeem itself to me. And I feel so bad because I know people love Tomb Kings. And if you like them, that's cool. And I'm happy for you. Like you. I'm very happy that you love this.
Yeah, this
but
brings me joy.
I'm yet to see why other than nostalgia.
Yeah.
So maybe the gameplay is where it redeems itself.
You've played Age of Sigmar. You've played 40k. It's nothing like either of those.
It looks like Kings of War.
It is like Kings of War, but more complicated. So I'm sure, without saying any more, you'll love it. So we'll play a game, we'll get some footage, and we'll chat about it at the end. One thing to note is movement trays. This game is all about big blocks of models, and the thought of having to potentially move hundreds of models whilst maintaining square formations is horrible. The idea is you place your unit onto trays, and then as the models die, you take them off one at a time. Simple. Now this is the Games Workshop movement tray system, which requires a little planning, cutting and gluing. But there are loads of other companies out there that do them, so take your pick and make sure you have some. The older dwarf models actually need to be rebased. Rather than rebasing your collection, you can get base extenders or movement trays that space the models out correctly. And that's what I'll do when I figure out what I need and where to get them. We're on to the game, so whilst I set everything up, I left Ciara with the rulebooks. She can take a look through at the turn sequence, the weapon skill and ballistic skill charts, the strength versus toughness. I'll be honest, it is a rather large book, and I think maybe if you haven't played a ton of gaming, this could be quite intimidating. The starter set here came with rules for each of the skeleton models. You will need the additional add-on books, of course, along with supplements if you want to play all of the Tomb King rules. But we set everything up, I showed Ciara the basics, and then we just decided to roll some dice. She took charge of the mighty Tomb Kings, and I held on to the dwarves. Movement is pretty simple, you just move the amount you want to move, whether it's marching, charging, or whatever you're doing. So I moved my models forward a little bit, and then decided to shoot her horsemen with my dwarf gunners. You roll to hit, you roll to wound, doing strength versus toughness, and then they make armor saves. Unfortunately for Ciara, 2 horsemen here fell to the first volley. She then took a move forward, lumbering in with the skeletons, and then decided to take some pot shots with her skeleton archers into my dwarf miners. Same sort of process, repeat the hit, wound, and save. Unfortunately, skeletons are pretty terrible at hitting stuff. I guess they have no eyes. But I did fail a save, and I did lose a dwarf. We then kind of carried on everything else, went through the charge phases, shot lots of bullets, and tried to kill each other for the next about half hour, I'd say this took for us to get through.
All right, oh, there's something in my hair. Okay, I've got 12, I'm looking for 5s. Oh, that's terrible. 1s, 2s, 1s, 1s, 2s, 1s, some 3s, a 4s, a 4. 1 singular 6.
Unfortunately, those dice rolls kind of summed up the way this game went. The skeletons took an absolute battering from the dwarves, and nothing really happened except for skeleton death.
Skeletons are holding up about as well as you would expect some skeletons with sticks to hold up.
And with that, we called it there. The first game of Warhammer the Old World had happened, Ciara's first ever game of fantasy, and my first foot back into the Old World. Let's see what we thought. We did it. We finished a very small, brief, introductory game of Warhammer the Old World, Fantasy Battles in the World of Legend.
Rule book. Oh wait, no.
That's the book. She's reading, people. What do you think?
It's better than I thought, but it's really confusing. I suppose I probably need to get a couple more games before I give full judgment. Also, if I had an army I cared about a little bit more, I think I would like it more. And also, if I'd have won, I'd have liked it more.
I did make the mistake of rolling better and you rolled badly.
Yeah.
That's always the error to make when you're playing with someone. Even if you try and cheat in their favour, it doesn't really work so well. Yeah, I have to say maybe reserve judgment to the Wood Elves, but I think we had a bit more fun than I thought we were going to have together.
Yeah, it is confusing.
Well, modifiers are everywhere, right? Like rolling to shoot, it's like if you moved, if they're long range away, if they're a bit of cover, if whatever, like there's a lot of modifiers. And it's not just like hitting on a 2+, like 40k or Age of Sigmar are. It's like you've got Ballistic Skill of 5, which then hits on a 2+, but modifies up. So there are a lot of stuff. The rulebook is booky.
Yeah.
It's a big book.
It's hefty.
It's hefty. It's actually a hefty tome.
It's a hefty book. And that's not even the only book you need.
No, you need like more books. We had your little character sheet there as well that came with the Tomb Kings with your stats.
It's overwhelming.
But you do get to roll a lot of dice, and it does look pretty cool on the table.
It looks something.
It's something. And that's the end of this. I love it, obviously. You think it is something.
I'm going to give them one more chance to come out with an army that I like.
Okay.
And then we'll see.
It has to be Wood Elves, I think. You like orcs, maybe.
Maybe.
Something. But yeah, I think it's up to everybody. Personal choice, personal preference, wishy-washy answer. I love it. You probably don't love it. And maybe don't like it.
I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah, that's the positives. But yeah, it's good fun. I'm really enjoying it. Let us know in the comments if you're playing it, what armies you've got, if you've got armies from the old days, armies from the new days, the new old armies like Tomb Kings. And also make sure to leave a like, share, subscribe. Check all the links down below for Patreon and other bits and bobs. And would you, I always like to say this, but would you like to see a battle report? Because I think this is easy to film. Like easier than 40k to film because they're big blocks rather than all little dudes.
Yeah, with painted armies.
Painted armies, like a proper one. I'd kind of like to give it a go.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll have round 2 at some point when another box set comes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you in another one.